We've learned a lot from Katrina and from some of the other tornadoes that we have experienced in our community, and it has been our desire to keep our citizens notified of any impending bad weather. And we've been fortunate to work with some great people, and we have some dignitaries here that have taken their time to be here, and we want to sincerely appreciate that very much for all of you and through the National Weather Service. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve Wilkinson with the Weather Service, and we'll take it from there. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Mayor. Just appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm going to take a couple minutes to explain what StormReady is and what the importance of the process is. It's not a rubber stamp by any stretch, as Joe can attest to. It's a process where you got to put a lot of work and a lot of improvement into storm preparedness and storm reaction when things are going on. So I want to build on one point that the mayor was talking about here shortly, that you're in an alley, and this in Simpson County, which you're a part of here, is one of the most active, if not the most active, small tornado alleys in the United States. A lot of people think Oklahoma or Kansas, and those are very active areas, but if you look down to the kind of county or a couple county scale, Simpson, Smith, Papaya, Jasper counties are some of the most active tornado areas. And not only active tornadoes, but violent tornadoes. If you look at statistics back to 1880, it supports it for 100+ years. So, and we've seen it ourselves in the last 10, 20 years or so, specifically about a year and a half ago. So there's a need here for preparedness, and there's a need here for warning systems and all that. And that's what StormReady does. And I just want to go briefly through what StormReady is. It's a process of developing a relationship between the National Weather Service and local emergency management, so that being Joe primarily. We have, over the last several years, we've known each other, specifically in the last 6 months or so, worked closely to make sure that Magee has multiple ways of receiving warnings, and that would be, in their 911 center. Some of the ways they have it are through weather radio. There's a chat program that we use to get text messaging from the Weather Service. NAWASH system, which is National Warning. They have just multiple ways of receiving the information, and that's key because sometimes communication systems fail. So that's number one. Number two is monitoring the weather. Are they able to see radars? Are they able to know what the temperature and the rainfall is occurring here in Magee? You can look at what's going on in the Jackson Airport, but that ain't going to tell you what's going on in Magee a lot of times. So that monitoring locally what's going on is critical. The third element is local dissemination, and this is the most important in my opinion. When warnings are issued, they go out over television and radio, and that's a fantastic way of it going out. There's also no weather radio, which is also fantastic. But I believe very strongly, from what I've seen in this area in the last 4 years that I've worked here, that local involvement in the warning dissemination process is absolutely critical. And that's in the form of sirens, emergency vehicles if necessary, radio systems to get out to the police department, the fire department, and in reaching as many citizens locally as possible. Because not everyone has a weather radio, and not everyone is always watching TV. So, we need to kind of get the information to them when necessary. So, really the fourth part of that is an education process. If people don't know what to do when there's a tornado warning, then then what good is a warning in a sense? So a lot of the work that Joe has done is getting out, talking to different groups, and the Weather Service has been down here a number of times, speaking to people and saying, here's first of all, you're in a tornado alley, and second of all, here's how you need to respond when a tornado warning is issued. So through all that, Joe put in an application. We brought in a site survey team, which was composed of Mr. Tom Taylor back there on the back row from MEMA, also Alton Webb from the city of Brandon, who is a storm-ready city already, and Alan Gerard, who I should introduce as the MIC from our office in Jackson. And we looked it over. So it's not just the National Weather Service saying you're doing things well. It's Mississippi Emergency Management Agency and other storm-ready communities